Testing, testing.
Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Indianola City Council, May 4th, 2020 at 6 p.m. In the City Council chamber. Nice to be with you all today and hope you're all doing well. If you would, please rise with me and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Council. Jackie, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hewlin? Here. Parker?
Present.
Kling?
Present.
Schroeder? Present. Southall? Here. Marchant?
Present.
Mayor Shaw?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. As we will continue on with public comment. Anybody for public comment tonight, Jackie?
No, there isn't.
Okay. Very good. Seeing none, hearing none, we'll move on to tonight's consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda is long. We'll just go ahead and read it as always. Anything to be pulled tonight, Council? Consent agenda includes the following items. Item A, which is approval of agenda. B, which are the April 16, 20, and 29, 2020 minutes. Item C, applications, including the following four. Excuse me, a renewal Class E liquor license, Class B wine, Class C beer, and Sunday sales privileges for Walmart located at 1500 North Jefferson Avenue. Two is a renewal Class E liquor license, Class B wine, Class C beer, and Sunday sales privilege for Indy 66 West, located at 2001 West 2nd Avenue. Item 3 is a renewal Class E liquor license, Class B wine, Class C beer, and Sunday sales privilege for Casey's General Store, number 2894, located at 1101 East 2nd Avenue. And item 4 under applications is a noise permit application for Warren County Speedway, for May 8th through the 10th, 2020 to hold practice sessions for drivers and waiver of the $50 late application fee. Item D is a resolution setting a public hearing for May 18, 2020 for Elevate Indianola, which is a comprehensive plan update prepared for the citizens of Indianola. Item E is a resolution approving an updated version of the City of Indianola's Employee Handbook. Item F is approval of pay application number 1 for the Quail Meadows number 3 lift station project in the amount of $38,547.19. Item G on the consent agenda is second consideration of an ordinance amending Chapter 110, Natural Gas Franchise pertaining to the franchise fees, Indianola Code of Ordinances. Item H is second consideration of an ordinance amending the zoning regulations to Chapter 165 regarding bulk storage of petroleum products. Item I is a resolution approving a request from Brett K. Culp of Snyder's and Associates Incorporated for approval of preliminary plat for Tree Line Plat 1. Item J is a resolution approving a request from Jeffrey A. Gaddis of Civil Engineering Consultants Incorporated for approval of a plat of survey for a parcel of land in the northeast quarter of the southeast quarter and the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 36, Township 76 North, Range 24 West of the 5th Prime Meridian, or PM, City of Indianola, Iowa. Item K is a resolution setting a public hearing for June 1, 2020 for requests from John F. and Mary Helen Peterson for an annexation into the City of Indianola. Item L is a resolution setting a public hearing for June 1, 2020 on request from Barry Countess of Wanda Cooper Development Incorporated, to rezone property located on Outlot X of the replat of the Hillcrest Industrial Park Plat 1, except parcels B and C, from the M2 General Industrial Zoning District to the R4 Multiple Family Residential Zoning District. Item M is a resolution setting a public hearing for June 1, 2020 on request from Joss Moulton of DR Horton for approval of a proposed development plan and to rezone a parcel of land in the southeast quarter of the southwest quarter of Section 18, Township 76 North, Range 23 West of the 5th PM, City of Indianola, Iowa, from the R3 Mixed Residential Zoning District to the R5 Planned Residence District. Item N is a resolution setting a public hearing for June 1, 2020 on request from the Howard H. Arp of Civil Engineering Consultants Incorporated to rezone a parcel of land in the northeast quarter of the southeast quarter and the southeast quarter, the northeast quarter of Section 36, Township 76 North, Range 24 West of the 5th PM, City of Indianola, Iowa, from A1 Agricultural Zoning District to A2 Mixed Agricultural Zoning District. Item O is a resolution setting May 18th, 2020 as a public hearing for a sign exemption request from Ryan Schroeder of Iowa Sign Company on behalf of Z's Eatery and Draft House located at 1501 North 1st Street. Item P is to receive and file fiscal year 2019 financial audit. Item Q is prior and final approval of urban revitalization designations, urban revitalization designations. Item R is a resolution approving salaries. And finally, item S is claims on the computer printout for May 4, 2020.
Move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Thank you, council. Any discussion?
I do have a question. Ryan, on C4, I received a couple calls from residents in my ward about the noise permit application for the Speedway. And as we spoke earlier, you explained it to me. Can you explain that?
Yeah, thanks, Councilwoman. Mayor, members of council, the item that Councilman Schroeder is talking about is the noise permit for the Speedway. The council has approved a prior noise permit for the races. The noise ordinance in the city code allows for these types of races, but has a specific end time at 10:30 at night. That memorializes an agreement that was put in place, I think, in the early 1990s between the city, the fairgrounds, and the organizers of this race. With COVID and all the stoppage of everything, the race organizers wanted to do some practice runs this weekend. They would just run one car at a time, so it wouldn't be the loud, thunderous racing that we hear during the weekends. So just one car at a time, and they would limit they would limit the crews to the social distancing requirements and all that. But again, it lines up with city code, which requires something like this to get a permit. The end time in the code says 10:30. And that mirrors that agreement from the 90s.
So one car at a time, I'm guessing, is not demolition
It-
derby.
No, it's just for practice is what the organizers, they wanted to do something.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Gwen. Any further questions? We do have a first and a second. Jackie, if you take a roll call, please.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Thanks, Jackie. We'll move on to any council reports. I have none, but anybody have anything good for the record? If not, we'll move on to item 7, which is public consideration, and we'll always take old business first, the new business. Public consideration number 1 is a codification project, public hearing to consider adoption of the 2020 revised code of ordinances of the city of Indianola, Iowa. At this time, I'll open this public hearing, and I believe Mr. Waller has something to say.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. So this is a project that started about 2 years ago under previous city clerk, Diana Bolin. This project started by trying to make sure that our code was much more user-friendly online so we could search it. It was indexed. So as former clerk Bolin did some research, found out that our code needed to be codified. It had been some time, so council provided that as a goal of hers. And so this process has been going on for 2 years. We have the public hearing. You'll notice that there's no first consideration on the agenda, and that is because the codifiers are still working on getting some additional code updates in there. Those things would be the bed and breakfast ordinance modifications that the council approved previous, along with the those property maintenance and building code updates that Charlie presented in study session about a month ago. So the codifiers are going through and making those final tweaks. We still have the available versions of the code if anybody would like to take a look at that. So the public hearing is published. We haven't received any comments on that. And the recommendation of staff is to continue the public hearing to the next meeting, along with when we have the first consideration. We did talk to the codifiers last week, and they did promise they would have those final tweaks by then.
So do we just leave it open, or do we need to make a motion to leave it open, or what?
We move to continue. Yes. I move to continue the public hearing to May 18th.
Second.
Further discussion?
Mayor, at this time, I just, because we still do have the public hearing open, we do have a phone number that we've advertised in all our public hearing notices. It's 515-962-5240. We have somebody answering those phones if anybody wanted to call in now. So if we can just give it maybe 30 seconds, we have a much shorter time delay now that we're on the Zoom webinar.
Sure. Yep, no problem. And Ryan, if you just want to stay up there for the next one on the funding, the CDBG funding, we'll roll on into that. Unless you want the exercise, that's up to you.
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, I got to get my steps in. I'm gonna go get my computer because I'll be up
Right,
here.
no worries.
And Gwen, what do we have?
3, 4.
Well, let's look behind you.
Let's look
Numbers
at
too.
Yeah.
Is the phone ringing, Jackie?
No,
Ah,
no calls.
dang. All right. Ryan, could you repeat that number, please?
515-962-5240.
5240, thank you.
And we will have to go through the same exercise with the other public hearings, Mayor.
Sure. We do have a first and a second on the table. Seeing no other conversation or phone calls from this, Jackie, if you would, please.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin. Aye. Parker,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Item 2 under old business is Community Development Block Grant or CDBG funding. At this time, I would open this public hearing on CDBG funding for the purchase of 2 UV disinfectant devices. As you might recall, it's something Mr. Waller has worked with department heads. Ryan, can you give us an update?
Yes, this is a grant application that our police, fire, and our CFO, Andy Lent, participated in. Early on in the COVID pandemic, we were successful in acquiring the grant. Totals just under $9,000. It's going to be purchasing 2 UV disinfectant devices, so that will help us disinfect our vehicles and other reusable PPE for our first responders, as well as the facilities. We have 1 in service now in the fire department. It's been very successful. So kudos to the team for doing this. And because it is dealing with CDBG funding, which is federal dollars, we have to go through the process of the public hearing and the next 2 items, approving the contract, and then the resolution adopting these policies, which many of them we have, but we just have to do it again.
Thanks, sir. We'll wait for just a minute. If you are watching this online and you want to comment on this public hearing regarding this grant, CDBG funding, feel free to call 515-962-5240.
Feel like we're in the Ghostbusters movie where they're waiting for the
Yeah. We got one. We got one.
I'll call just for fun next time. All right. Hearing none and seeing none, I will close this public hearing at this time and move on to resolution B, or I'm sorry, part B of 2B, resolution approving contract with IEDA for CDBG funding.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Jackie, please.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin. Aye. Parker,
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Thanks, Jackie. Now that you've accepted the money, item C is a resolution adopting CDBG required policies.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Jackie, please.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin. Aye. Parker,
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Very good. Under new business is just one item, a resolution approving a proposal for removal and disposal of sludge material, Indianola wastewater treatment facility. Mr. Waller gave us a little bit of a heads up on this the other day. Ryan, if you just want to provide another update for those watching this meeting.
Yeah, who doesn't love to hear about sludge? So this is for our new sludge hauler. Rick met with the staff or the company earlier today. They plan, pending approval by the council plans. They plan on starting this Thursday, and weather permitting, they should be done by Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So as Rick asked, please pray for dry weather so they can get both tanks and digesters cleaned out.
Thanks for that. Any questions? Very good. We do have a first and a second. No more questions. We'll move on to a vote. Jackie?
I don't have a first or
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry about
Move
that.
to approve.
Second.
Thank you. I thought it would happen. So, all right. Any discussion? Now, Jackie, be so kind. Thanks.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin. Aye. Parker,
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Thank you. Item 8A is city manager's report. Receive and file city manager's reopen plan that was sent to us a little bit earlier today. Ryan, do you want to go over that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So we've talked about quite a bit, and actually I think Lieutenant Hawkins was the one that mentioned this to me last week, which is there really is no guidebook that was given to any of us on how to manage a global pandemic. And so our team has, as they've been since February, been monitoring and planning and preparing for our next steps and what do we do. And so in trying to create a sense of clarity and organization and structure around something that is completely ambiguous and completely unknown, this is staff's attempt of putting together a plan of what a reopening of the city services would look like. This is modeled after a plan that was publicized a couple weeks ago by Dr. Fauci and others about reopening America. And so what we've done is, and the team has done an incredible job in doing this and identifying the various phases and stages and what that would look like. We did make sure that this matrix was ran through and received input from the library board, Parks and Rec Commission, and the Pool Commission to get input on are we hitting it? Is there something we need to think about? So just as an example, in an earlier draft under the library plan for stage 1, no contact curbside pickup was not included. Well, the governor's office issued a proclamation later in the week. And so as Michelle was taking this through to her library board, that was one of the tweaks that was made. So this is meant to be a very fluid document, but it's meant to help us guide our decision-making process, but also communicate out to the public of where are we at in the process of reopening different services and what can you expect from us. Again, I can't say enough of how great our team has done in adapting to this new norm. Services have continued despite the fact that we don't have, Charlie and his staff are still processing permits, still meeting with developers, still doing code inspections. So all the services that our community expects from us, we're still providing, with the exception of some of those programs that we can't because of the personal interaction or having facilities closed due to the guidelines from CDC or the governor. So this is meant to kind of guide that. We have a color-coded, green means go, red means we're not there yet. And this will be updated as we go along. So just because the library may move on to phase 2, stage 3 doesn't necessarily mean that any of the other departments will be there. So this recognizes the uniqueness of the different departments and their interactions with the public. We've had a lot of discussions internally and also with our peers in other communities. And the questions have come up, well, how are you going to make the decisions? What date? Well, the answer is we don't know, but what this helps us do is helps us understand what the next step would be. And then what we do is we take in input such as what are we hearing from public health? What are we getting from the governor's office? What do our 2 chiefs say? What is their input on this process? Number of cases in our community as well as in Warren County. So these are all things that we're taking in and we're reviewing this as a leadership team on a weekly basis and saying, okay, where are we at? Do we need to go? Where are we going to go next? So again, this is meant to try to communicate out where we're at and what the next steps will be so we can help be as transparent as possible to our community, but also help us as a management team understand what next steps and then how do we communicate that stuff out to our staff.
What's the plan for communicating it out, Ryan? Do you have normal channels or?
Yeah, website, our social media outlets. We've communicated this to our partners in the media. We made sure that they received, this was included in the weekly email, so we communicated this out to the public that way. But also we'll continue to update it. And as we update it, we'll make sure we continue to market it on this website, but also social media and continue to talk to our partners at the media.
Very good, thank you.
And of course, sorry, Mayor, one other thing, all our answering points we'll have a copy of this. So when Cassandra at City Hall gets a call, or we'll share it with our partners at IMU, if they get a call, at least they'll have some better sense of it instead of we don't know.
Very good. Thanks for your work on that. Thanks to staff certainly for their work on that as well. I know it's extraordinary times and interesting to watch for sure. Any other further questions regarding the reopen plan from council?
No, but I do want to mention, at least to Ryan, how I want to thank the staff for opening the brush dump. It was a big deal, and the staff really worked hard on that. So.
And consequently, it needs to be recolor coded in this matrix.
Oh,
It is still red.
We'll get it.
that was a biggie.
Yeah, kudos to the staff. I did get an email from a resident on Saturday morning just complimenting staff for the quick action because we had quite a bit of interest on Saturday and Sunday. We did, for the weekend, we did over 700 loads, which is incredible. But, you know, again, our team is great. They adjusted on the fly when needed to. And then this morning they had a debrief at 9 o'clock to talk through what can they change in order to make it better for our customers' experience. So we appreciate everybody's patience. This is, again, a global pandemic. Nobody planned for this. And so we're doing our best.
And to add to what you said, I had talked to a couple people who went out there and they said it was very well organized and that they were really appreciative. So
Thank you.
thank
We're
you.
gonna have a better looking town this year.
Yes, yeah, there you go. That's right.
Good job.
All right, I guess we need a motion, a second, and a vote to receive
Right.
this.
Sorry. Greta had already motion. She was getting in the process when you started. There.
Thanks, John. John, do you do the second then?
I did. Yep.
All right, thanks, sir. Discussion. Jackie, thanks.
Councilmember Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Very good. Item 2 under 8A is to receive and file correspondence from the April 17 and April 24 weekly updates from City Manager Ryan Waller.
I move to receive and file the correspondence from April 17th to the 24th weekly updates from City Manager Ryan Waller.
A second.
Very good. Did you get that, Jackie?
I did.
All right, very good. Discussion. One last vote, please.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Aye.
Southall. Aye. Marchant,
Aye.
Hewlin.
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Kling.
Aye.
Mayor, if I can, I do have one more item to share. Earlier today, David Moss from the Greater Des Moines Partnership, that's the person that we've been dealing with on the small business grant program, had just provided a status update of where we're at with rolling that out. They did indicate that they will be going live tomorrow. I did field a call from a small business owner here in town about when that was going to go live. It will go live tomorrow morning, I believe sometime tomorrow. I don't know that it's going to be in the morning. We will, as with the advertisement of other items, go on our website. We'll advertise that on all our social media outlets. We've already partnered with the Chamber and WCDC, just making sure that's advertised. We'll certainly let our partners at the media know. I do want to thank the county. The county is coming through with the commitment of the 5,000. And in talking with Brenda today, People's Bank and True Bank have also committed funds. So we've met our match. So thank you to those entities on supporting this program and our business community. One other bit of news that David shared in his email is that because of their investment or their fundraising campaign for this, what they're going to be doing is the original proposal was the city puts in a $2.30 per capita, private sector comes in with another 50 cents per capita, and then they would match it at 50 cents. So they're actually going to up that to $1 per capita. So that Greater Des Moines Partnership will be adding 16,000 versus 8,000 round numbers. So that's definitely positive for our community and very much appreciate the support from the partnership and them getting this up and running so quickly.
That's great.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, Ryan, thanks. Thanks for the update. That's good news from the partnership, certainly. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. Jackie?
Councilmember Hewlin.
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Kling,
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
Southall.
Aye.
Marchant.
Aye.
Very good. Thanks, council. Take care.
Thank you.